keep playing it. Yeah, keep playing it. It's just they're gonna have to read the chat.
I am people, baby.
Oh, I guess they'll see it and go to the other one. And I'm starting off this with a holy moly. Good to see ya. I hope you made it from the other chat. Bring it in already.
Still got people over there.
Can I get the congregation to say, can I get you guys to realize that I love this game, man? This is like, I know it's not a game because this is how people are really counting on their lives. But if you don't enjoy the journey for every step that it is, I don't think that for one moment that you understand the steps, the sacrifice, and just the diligence that you guys have put into your lives. Tuning into a show every day, but on top of that, taking the time out of your busy schedules and saying, you know what, man, I'm going to tune in, I'm going to listen, I'm going to voice my opinion, the constructive criticism, you know what I mean? Hey, all good. If it's just straight up hating, you know where you can go. But you know what it is, right? You really understand what it is to be what it is. It's funny, man, because I know it's really kind of odd. Y'all can't really see this set up. We got lights behind us. We got a camera behind us. You know what I'm saying? The monitors in front of us. But you know what? A lot of times I just be sitting here and you see me looking off. It's because I really feel like I'm in an office setting and me and you are just having a conversation about my favorite investment. I think the investment is going to catapult not just you, me, but the real people of Iraq into a situation that they can finally, you know what I mean? Like, those are the people that are suffering. We don't have it that bad. We're not that safe either, though. And I'm going to point that out to you later on. We as Americans are not that safe. There has been actually more acts of domestic terrorism in this country this year than there has been in the last 5 or 6 months in Iraq. And we always tell people, worry about Iraq. Think about it. Put things in perspective for a moment. Put things into real perspective. People, I'm grateful for everything and I'm entitled to nothing. That's why I do the research. That's why I bring you the news. And that's why these Kangaguru gang, the gang, they do what they do. I'm trying to waste a little time. Are we ready to roll?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that comment by that dude? Forget him. Loser.
He's already gone.
Loser.
Already eliminated.
You know what's funny? It's funny in the negative comments, but they keep tuning in and they watch the whole video. You know what I'm saying? I get yellow stripe where they don't, count, but you know what? Still, they watch the whole video and then tell me a negative thing. Thanks for the view. All right. We ready to do our introductions?
Yeah, let me get in the chat.
I'm giving you one more of these. And you know what? I want one more of these. I feel some coming out my body. Coming out my body. I have some news for you today. And I don't care if I'm loud today. You don't like it, don't listen. Ow! Woo! Ric Flair dripping here tonight.
Ooh. We ready?
I was born ready.
Not according to that picture I took of you last night.
I was ready for a nap.
Got him good.
Caught me slipping, y'all. Had my bonnet on and everything.
What's up, Daisy?
Gang, gang, Daisy, gang, gang.
I see your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am April BB.
Turn your TVs down. Turn your monitors down. Turn your radios down. Turn it all down, because I'm about to turn up. It's my show, my rules, my way, all the time. I love my gang. I am Mr. Brando! And that's Daisy. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. Alright, let me drop these bombs like Hiroshima. The legal experts explained the ruling of the federal court on the entry into force of Article 140 of the Constitution. That means the Supreme Court of Iraq entered into force the supreme ruling that Article 140 is not only constitutional, but it needs to be enacted under Amendments 58 immediately. Now, a lot of you guys don't know what that means. Article 140 settles the disputed areas, but more so what it does, it puts the oil and gas centers, which is Basra. I think Baghdad makes up a certain percent. Basra makes up a bunch of the percent. But the other oil area, Kirkuk, makes up a bundle of the percent. And what it is you've got to have all of that under Baghdad rule. Now, since the Supreme Court not only said it was in force, but it needed to be implemented, the number of questions are being asked about the federal court's ruling on the article. First, of the timing of the entrance of the ruling and why the judicial decision coincided with the political movement between the federal government and the Kirkuk region. Because it's not what they tell you. It's what they're doing. It's not that they have to tell you. You know what? Hey, guys, look. On August 20th at 2 p.m., we're going to reinstate the Iraqi. No! It doesn't happen that way. But you gotta think of something called, I don't want to use the word destiny because I don't believe in destiny to that degree, but you gotta believe in planning and you gotta believe in a little bit of, what's wrong, you cold?
Cold.
Oh, okay. You want about me? I'm hot. I'm always hot, baby.
Always hot.
I'm hot. I'm on fire. I believe that there is a supreme plan for everything. And I think that when you guys go through the news, you won't be so shrouded in death. That's why when there's no more news, we're going to do questions and answers. They have to enact Article 140 of the Constitution and amend under the amendments of Article 58. Now, the examination of the article in the Constitution shows off it begins with words, executive order to take steps, and end no later than the 31st of December in the year 2007. That's where the dispute came in, y'all. They were trying to dispute the validity because of the date, but the Supreme Court said, you know what? You're going to put that into play, and you guys are not only going to do it.
2007?
You're going. Well, yeah, that was what the argument. That's why they went in front of the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. Now, I downloaded this, and I thought for a lot of you guys, because we're always talking about undervalued currencies, we're always talking about currencies to invest in the future. A lot of people want to be a part of large institutional buyings, and that's what we want to achieve in Patreon. And part of the financial sector of Patreon will do large institutional buyings. But the idea is, if you want to understand to a certain degree what undervalued currencies are, I'll give you a few. Egypt, Oman, Saudi, Emirates, Kuwait is even undervalued. Bahrain, Diameter, all of these places are dead center in the Middle East. Iraq, it lists them. And how they did it was they went between that and the value of a Big Mac. And they compared the monies, and guess what? Those values were not just undervalued by a couple cents. Some of them as high as 30 or 40 cents. And it goes through a list of these markets and tells you what they're going to do. A deputy calls for not just the enactment, but because of the federal press ruling, they said now they're demanding that there be serious dialogue between Baghdad and Erbil to resolve the differences between the two parties. Now, in a lot of these articles, you see not only the get the dispute under, but they're also talking about what? My other favorite subject in Iraq, the oil and gas law. Oh my gosh, why are they all going in the same direction? Why do all the articles either have to do with Article 140 corruption, or private sector. It's no coincidence when people were talking about they're not talking about private sector and they're not going to do anything because they're out of legislative term, Mr. Brando. When there's no legislative term, they get nothing done. Well, you know what? I wish they'd stay out of legislative term because they've gotten more done in the last couple hours today than they've gotten done in weeks in the past. Demand the apply, not just do it, apply Article 140. Iraq is ranked 19th amongst nations to be the strongest nations in the world. Iraq, with its undervalued currency,
What does that mean?
let's see. Boom, boom. Are we live? Yeah, we're still live.
We're still on.
Okay, nothing. It was just a little glitch. Number 1, the United States was the most dominant. Number 2 was Russia. Number 3 was China. But right down the list of 19. Now, there's so many nations in the world. It makes you kind of wonder with a currency that's so undervalued, what they call a private sector that's non-existent, and with the corrupt political scene, how the heck is it the 19th strongest nation in the world? That's why you invested in the Iraqi dinar, because of stuff like this. Not because of some soothsayer said you were going to get rich if you put a few bucks and you're going to get a few bucks out. Because it was actually, even if you didn't understand at that time, a calculated risk. That's why I tell people all the time. That's why, you know what, I'm not trying to toot anybody's horn. That's why I love Patreon. If people told you think different, if people tell you dream too big, if people tell you that, you know what, you're crazy, the world don't work that way, or if people tell you that, you know what, come join Patreon. I'm just being honest. I want to be with the biggest dreamers, the biggest thinkers, the hardest workers, the biggest implementers because of stuff like this. Because I believe a little crappy country like Iraq, I'm sorry, it's crappy. They are. It's just a crappy place, man. They just don't have everything that the world should have. If that little place is 19th in the world before a reinstatement, can you... Oh, thank you, Bill Massey. Thank you, Bill. Shout out, Bill Massey. Thank you. All monies, you guys know, go to the website. We're going to build that website. We're going to make that happen. If a crappy little country like Iraq can be 19th in the world, I can take 200 to 300 educated, interested, enthused entrepreneurs, and we can turn a few $1 million amongst all of us, which are probably more than a few $100 million at that time, but a few $1 million at that time. And if we can't turn that into a few $100 billion based upon our work ethic and perseverance being in this 10 plus, 15 plus years, what do you think? We can move the world. All we need is an opportunity, man. That's what I'm talking about right there. Decades ago. Oh, Steve. Shout out, Steve, man. Thank you, Steve. Shout out, Steve. It's always the Patreon, man. Patreon show love. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we give love back. We don't keep it. There's no reason in the world to be greedy. Dream bigger than you ever have. And I'm not going to get on that preaching now. I'm going to get to these bombs. Okay, now here is a major bomb, okay? I'm going to start off with a bomb. Decades ago, the government of many countries have benefited from the benefits of the deletion of the 3 zeros in the local currency market. After rounds of negotiation to years, Iran's government approved a proposal by the central bank in January to remove 4 zeros from its currency. Now, that's not the point to note. Their currency at the time of it being deleted is 0.000008. If they deleted 4 zeros off their currency, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It now makes the Toman worth 8 cents. It's more valuable, in theoretically speaking, than the Iraqi dinar. And they're under sanctions. And their economy's in the crapper. And they're not even on the list of the best ranking countries, all that greater than Iraq. Ooh. Oh my God, guys. If that place has got that much power, what do you think Iraq's finally going to do? They're going to lift their currency value. Now listen. On Saturday, they froze funds in the government to be able to fill the federal budget deficit. So now listen. Earlier in Parliament, they revealed a large deficit in the budget of 2020 to reach 72 trillion dinars after a year characterized by prosperity was a deficit of 27 trillion, expected this year. They said the government can resort to internal funds to fill the budget deficit to avoid the rise of external debt owed by Iraq, noting that the deficit in the budget hypothetical can be overcome. In the statement, they said they don't need to borrow money to fill the budget. They don't need to borrow money to fill the budget. It was 72 trillion dinars, and now it's 27,000 dollars. 27 million trillion dinars. Do you guys understand what they just told you? They don't got to borrow money. So now they're going from a rentier government into a donor government based upon them settling the disputes with Kirkuk and them also settling the oil and gas law. Now put it all together for a minute, okay? They've told you that they're arresting all these politicians and removing them from government to get them out. They're getting more done out of quorum than in quorum. And here's the best part. I don't know how many times I have to read this. This isn't the one I wanted to read. Okay. Many countries and international companies have a clear desire to enter Iraqi markets and invest in all areas. But what is delayed by many reasons is delayed. That's what Tamimi said. One of the most important reasons is the unstable security environment in some areas, which is an environment suitable for investment. Which is an environment, in addition to routine and particularly slow government measures. The importance of activating measures and laws encouraging investment while providing the appropriate security environment to reflect a positive image to foreign investors to enter Iraq, start projects, and benefit both parties and simplify encouraging measures. It is not possible to move to a better economic reality without international participation in reconstruction investment in all fields, Tamimi said. Tamimi himself now saying it's time to invest in Iraq. We're ready. We're open and we're actually ready for business. When Tamimi talks, he's one person. When he talks, I listen. Okay. Now, if you guys ain't sitting down in your seats, I'm going to read you guys this headline. Identified the Finance Committee in the House of Representatives on Monday. So they're in the House of Representatives on Monday. A reason to prevent the minting of coins. The introduction of proposal before minting. Now, I told you guys back on March 24th that the reason why there was this big issue with Abadi going and finding ISIS and them confiscating those minting tools was because I believed in my heart of heart that those minting tools were going to be the lower denominations. In a few moments, I'm going to show you how. The committee respects the independence of central banks and the monetary policy, he said, stressing that the bank has technical autonomy by decision regarding the administration affair, which it decides the usefulness of the move to use coin. So what they're basically saying is that when those laws passed last year about the central bank being independent, they don't have to ask the CBI to be able to mint those coins. They're going to mint those coins, and I think they've already minted those coins. The reason why I think they minted them was because, remember, ISIS was holding all those forged coins. They were hoping for those forged coins to hold some value, so they used the old coins that they knew about before the Saddam era. What people don't understand the significance of the coins was, what the coins represent is the pre-Saddam era was Iraq was truly fruitful and truly plentiful. These guys were balling. Their currency has always historically done better than the United States dollar. Historically, it's no secret that their country was Kuwait before Kuwait was Kuwait, basically. You see what I'm saying? So with them telling you that we don't need you to make that decision, what they're telling you is, we're not going to tell you we're going to do it. We've already done it. By the time you know we've done it, okay? Iraq can reproduce the experience of other countries with the use of currencies in the favor of advancement of economy. We can support this by listening to jurisdictions of the views of the central banks and the views of legislation of laws for the continuation of the monetary policy has proceeded properly. The concerned parties can strengthen the currency so small groups can have purchasing power in the event of the use of the coin. The concerned parties can strengthen the currency so small groups can have purchasing power in the event of the use of the coin. Now, the coin has to be the lower denom. The cost of the coin is more than paper money, and I looked it up. It's true. A penny actually costs 1.5 cents to create. Now, there's a word for it. It's called sauvage or something like that. It's a French term. That meaning that when you print money, however much it costs, when you utilize that money, that's one way that the federal government makes up the cost of the money. They make money off printing money. But remember this, you're the only people that can print money are are actually like your Federal Reserve, right? So the Fed. So the Federal Reserve can print the money. The Fed can only go in and spend it if they get approval. So all this talk of Fed spending, they're doing that to alleviate inflation costs. This is where I had an epiphany earlier today. My thought process was, why would they introduce a coin at this point? Because a coin, even though it would cost more money to make it, its longevity, they wouldn't be picking up those notes off the street. And think about it. Coins would also discourage what? A cash society. If I had to carry a bunch of coins in my pockets, I probably wouldn't do it. I'd put my credit card, my debit card in my pocket, and I would utilize that. Thus taking those notes off of the streets and putting it back into the Federal Reserve, into the CBI reserves, and strengthening the reserves past whatever 63 trillion they're at right now. Now, for those people out there that are going to actually sit there and tell me, I don't see how they can actually reinstate their currency, Mr. Brando, because they have all these outstanding notes and, based upon their Federal Reserve. Well, you got to remember this. It's not based upon your Federal Reserve because your Federal Reserve system is based upon fractional banking, Mr. Listener. And fractional banking means that if I take a $100,000 deposit, I take $10,000 and I keep it towards the reserve to invest in something that's going to make me money. And they do that not just for those deposits, but for all those deposits that they take. So understand me, plus the money that they siphoned out of the currency auctions that they've had going on for the last 15 years, they have more dinar to cover this investment than I will ever know. And don't think for 1 second that they're telling you that there's 63 trillion dinars only. There's a lot more dinars than that. We know for a fact Germany, China, all these countries went through and bought $25 billion in dinars for a derivative, and you're going to tell me there's only $63 trillion out there? No, they have more than enough money to cover this, not just through but through fractional banking, through Basel compliance, and basically through gold. And don't forget this, how they offset inflation was through buying those treasury bonds to the government, and that's called something. I'm going to get to that. Don't make me go off. I'm going on a tangent here, y'all. I'm feeling this. Are you keeping up with this conversation, or you need me to slow down?
Just stay hot, because I'm cold.
Oh, my God. You cold, and I'm on fire. Man, if you ain't dancing in your seat, if you don't understand what I just said, then you got to rewind that whole thing and play it for yourself. I'm not doing replays. Okay?
Why not?
Because I'm tired.
No, you're not.
Now, what is my rule on articles? If I find one article, I read it. I might not report it.
You look for several articles to confirm.
Correct. Guess what the next article says? News Finance Committee Cabado said Monday the use of metal categories and trading conditions gives a legal value to their currency. Cry, mother truckers, cry! Guess why you're crying? I told y'all this in March. Now listen. During the meetings and exchange with officials in Iraq over the past decades, rather than paperwork, we've increased the need to reestablish the work with mineral processes that have been used in Iraq over the past decades, rather than the past decades. So what they told you was, we didn't use them in the last 15 years, but before that we used them all the time. The use of metal categories, their descent into trading gives a legal value to the currency. Legal, meaning a value to the currency that actually means something. If you guys ain't sitting there saying right now, holy crap, they're telling us everything right in front of me. There's no secret here, and I can't make this up. I don't write the articles. I just read them to you. And I could read you other articles, but these are the articles that are important to the Iraqi dinar. Those metal categories give legal value. They know their currency is artificially suppressed. They want purchasing power. They need purchasing power to take the next steps. They don't want to do it, but they have to do it. No one's going to give them anything anymore. Understand where you are right now. You and I should be dancing. I'm dancing. Oh, and guess what? That's 2 articles, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the last one. Mm-hmm. Member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, Abdul Hadi, said in a statement on Monday, the date, the Finance Committee will work to raise the price of the dinar against the dollar and to give it strength among other currencies in the Arab world, or at least maintain the current exchange rate to have monetary power within local markets. Now here's the deal with local markets. Understand this. You can't raise the value of the dinar inside of the country. It'll offset inflation. If you offset inflation, then you've just thrown off all the monetary and policy that you've written over the last couple years, and it would go to hell. You got to understand that right now, they're telling you, we're going to raise the price of the dinar against the basket of currencies. Remember what Pempe said. He said they got to take the basket, we got to multiply it by a certain factor, and then you times that by a number. That number came out to be somewhere between $3.50 and $3.80. And I don't like talking price on here, but that's what it equaled out to be. Now, they're already telling you right here that because of the strategic plan of 2020, they have to do these things. They just told you. I'm not going to read you the whole article. They're going to raise the value against the dinar, against the dollar. The only way to raise the value of the dinar, and this is where there's not a lot. This is where confidence in the dinar takes place. You know how confident everybody in the world is in the dinar right now?
How?
Iran is taking it by the boatloads. Their currency is worth more than theirs is, but they still want dinar. Ding dong. I hear me knocking. Is anybody listening?
I'm listening.
Who's that again with $50?
No,
Man, y'all.
buying up all the dinar.
Man, Iran they ain't buying up nothing. They ain't getting nothing. They want to trade dinar. They ain't buying up nothing.
What basket of currencies?
It's the Arab basket of currencies.
What's
Thank you, Thomas.
What is the Arab basket of currency? What currencies are in there?
The ones that are in the Arab Council. So I mean, I have to look it up. But I mean,
okay.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Okay. I thought you knew.
No, I mean, I just think of all the Arab countries. So there's Qatar, there's Bahrain, there's Saudi Arabia, there's Kuwait, there's Iraq. Lee may know him by heart.
Oh, hold on. Wait. Say it again because you weren't on speaker.
You weren't on. Hey, Lee, when you talk and nobody's listening, nobody hears you.
Okay, what you got to do is look at whatever the current SDR rate is, which I think right now it's like 1.37.
Okay.
And you have to multiply times the Arab accounting dinar rate by 2.5. So in other words, in order for them to come up with the Arab accounting dinar rate, they take the SDR, multiply it times 2.5. So it's 134 or $1.37 times 2.5. So I think it's like 360. What is it? 340. 360, 68. What is it?
368, 78.
Somewhere on there.
Well, either way, anything over $3, I mean, you ought to be
I think
flipping.
it's 348 is what it is.
Okay, I'll take 350. It's not my everything, but shoot, that's everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the kicker. You're naming off all those currencies that are undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
All the ones in the Middle East, and I was also in my comment putting all the ones over there in the South China Sea. You know what I mean? It's Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, all those people over there, they're part of the... We said this a long time ago. There's 49 countries that are drastically undervalued. We mentioned that. We just didn't know who they were. But now you can almost start figuring out who they are. So if you take the Arab nations, and there's 13 of them or 11 of them, I think, that are undervalued, they have to come up to their current value. If that's the case, that means they have to increase the SDR rate. If they do that, that increases the value of the Iraqi dinar. That's what we want.
Now, this is the last bomb I have to drop. And I got to thank my boy Vernell for this one. Vernell, shout out Vernell. Now, Pimpy, are you sitting down?
I'm gonna go ahead and sit down now, my brother. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna read you something, and then y'all, me and Pimpy after this are gonna fight.
You mean the ones earlier weren't the big bombs?
No, this is the biggest bomb of them all. But me and you gonna fight.
Why you
after
gonna
this
fight?
Because people want to see us fight.
No, we don't want to see you.
Pimpin', we gonna fight when I read you this one because you and me go hug. Okay.
No, damn well you know the gold standard's coming. I don't care.
Okay, I'll give you the gold standard, but you know what? Listen to this.
Okay.
Listen, y'all.
Hey.
Security suspects arrest in counterfeit currency trade category $100 in Babylon. Arrest of counterfeit $200 currency arrested in Babylon. The Interior Ministry announced on Monday the arrest of the accused of counterfeiting trading in counterfeit currency, category 100. The Interior Minister spoke said in a statement received, copy the detachments of organized crime intelligence Babylon working within the intelligence agency and the Interior Ministry arrested 2 suspects who are trading counterfeit currency 100 category. She pointed out they lured and arrested in the center of the province of Babylon. A criminal offense were seized in the possession of 7,400 fake. Has been seized counterfeit currency with a record fundamental seizure and referral of accused to justice. Is over. Now, Pimpin', we gonna fight. You know why we gonna fight?
Y'all ain't gonna
What
fight.
is that?
Because you never told me there was a category $100 bill out there. The lowest bill out there is a $250. Boom!
No, Dwayne, I could have swore I brought that to your attention now. You know what I mean? I just want to throw that out there.
There is no category $100 bill in circulation. Why are they counterfeiting $100 bills and they're not in circulation? Will somebody please help me with that
Make
one?
sure they get in circulation.
Because some things, how do they know?
Well, they know it's coming. That's
Oh
why.
my God! If
Okay,
that
so
didn't
let me-
just tell it.
Like somebody's telling. Okay, so let me put it this way. Maybe
Okay.
somebody's got some inside information, and they're sharing it with other individuals, and they're saying to them, "We're about to release the 100 category bills," and they're saying, "Hey, why don't we start counterfeiting them so that once they're released, we're on it right from the jump."
Okay, Pimp It, me and you are master counterfeiters, okay? We're the best in the world.
Don't say that.
We're gonna throw it out there on the internet.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, here's my thing for you.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetical, right?
Okay.
How do we know what to counterfeit?
Unless somebody gave you some inside information.
But Pimpe, they change those measures weekly, daily, hourly. How would we know the final thing until it goes to process? Nobody knew the final security steps put in the 100, the 20, until they'd been in circulation for months, years almost.
No. Listen, because somebody, it's got to be manufactured. You got to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be made.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for that to happen, somebody must have already had a design, had all the security steps in place, had it all figured out, and they shared that information. Is what it is.
Well, that's the obvious answer, and I get that, and I agree with you, and I'm not even joking. When I said fight, I was just doing that for drama. I think sometimes
I
the
thought
show
you was
needs
gonna bring in my damn golden zombies. I was ready.
No. I'm done with Golden Zombies. No, but I thought that was the biggest bomb of the night because they could have forged any bill. Why the category 100? And why
You
only
want to
set?
stay low. It makes sense to stay low.
But they don't have the bills not in circulation. If you
Yeah.
gave it to somebody in Iraq, they couldn't do anything with it.
Not yet, but if you know... Okay, so let me put it to you this way. Let's pretend, and I'm just going to... It's a hypothetical. Let's pretend that Trump is telling everybody... Okay, Trump says to me, hey, look, we're going to put out a new $7 bill. I say, okay, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Here's the design. Here's the template. Here's all the the security features, all right?
Right.
Here's everything you need. Here's the type of paper we're going to use. And I know where to buy that paper, right? Or they help me buy that paper. So I know Trump says in 90 days... we're going to start producing the $7 bills. We should have it out and in circulation within 6 months. I'm going to take and run and get as much as my $7 bills as possible.
Okay, but Pimpe,
Yeah.
currency doesn't work that way. They don't ever announce those bills like that. They're introduced, then they're announced, but then they're already in circulation. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way.
Dude, they got to know that there's $100
No.
bills in the company.
I know they know. You know they know. We all know. All 570 people of us know.
Somebody leaked it.
Somebody leaked it. I'm agreeing with you. But Pimpe, listen to me. Pimpe, think about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the new 20 came out and everybody's talking about the new hundreds, big face hundreds, you didn't see one until you saw one. Think about it. The average consumer, not the speculator.
I know Joe Biden me right now with that shit. You don't see one until you see one, okay? He says, we don't believe in facts. We believe in the truth. I was like, what the hell did he just say?
You guys, I think, though, with that, and they're telling you they're going to mint coins, I mean, you tell me, there's nothing, I'm not waiting for anything. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the market to be turned on completely, whether it be now through January or whatever. I'm done. I'm good. I'm good.
It's going to happen 2019.
It's going to happen.
Wait, let's find out. Let's see how many people are bored. Okay, everybody that agrees with this, if you think it's going to hit in 2019, type in yes. 2019. Just type in yes real quick. I'm just
Or do this.
I'm
Just hit
gonna
the
see
like
that
button.
kind of vibe.
Just hit the like button. Right now, we'll time state it. It's 9:33. It's got 159 likes. If you believe it's going to happen in 2019, just hit like.
Yes, yes. Hit
And
like
if you
button,
think it
yes.
ain't going to go in 2019, hit the thumbs
Oh
down.
my God. What the hell just happened?
Holy shit.
Look, Lori
That's
said,
damn
Lori
interesting.
said
What's
you
wrong with you?
connecting the dots like the dots on my shirt.
Whoa, look at that's going crazy. That's what I'm talking about, peeps, right there. Yes.
Look, and that's why I tell you guys, I mean this. Dream big, think big, change your circle. Yes, yes, yes. Change your circle. Stop that stinking thinking. Eliminate the people that are negatively influencing you, whether they're YouTubers, whether they're friends.
Yes, and the like button.
And guess what? Surround yourself with people that are like-minded that have a dream. Think about this. When this happens and you got all this money, and now you're looking around saying, I don't trust these people because you know what? You didn't believe in me. Can you imagine that feeling? You're going to look at some people and go, dude, I told you. And they're going to say, help me, help me.
Weezy, why are you coming in like that?
Man.
Boy, Weezy.
Thank you, Weezy.
Weezy. Think big, man. If you think too big, then you should be with me.
I guess yes from Weezy.
Somebody told me, you know what, Mr. Brando, we ought to start our own insurance company. I said, you know what, healthcare and life. And you know what, we ought to help people that can't get health insurance based upon the government practitionership and give people affordable healthcare and then subsidize it and then charge it back to the... charge it back to the stinking government and milk that cow for what it's worth. That's what we should do.
Well, you know what it is? I actually sit on the National Advisory Board, and we've been busy as could be, because there's a lot of changes that are getting ready to happen in Trump's next election. Trust me, when it comes to healthcare, what they're putting together, if they do what they say they're going to do, you know, I simply just said this. This is funny, because I remember talking about it, I go, why are you guys having such a hard trouble? If you really want to get something aboard, and you want to make the other people look bad, just do this. Just say, I tell you what, let's do away with Obamacare, and let's give the people the same type of health coverage as Congress has. And I said, and I go, if anybody says no again, said, you know how bad it's going to make them look? Because they have the best coverage there is out there. So if you really want to be for the people, that's what they should do.
Tempe, hold on. I got to shout out some things. Somebody in here just said, realistically, they think a float. Now, I think it was MB. MB, realistically, it has to float once it's reinstated. But it can't float if it's not reinstated. It will only float plus or minus 2%. That's all currencies float. So unless it's a dirty float. Now, if it's a dirty float like Kuwait, they're going to make that money based upon supply times velocity as high as it can possibly go. So yeah, a float's the strategy. I'm not telling you to take all your dinar and turn it in at the same time. I'm telling you to have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, join a gang that has a plan. So that way you protect yourself and the only asset you truly have in life, which is you and your family. You and your family. Everybody's plan's going to be a little different. You get what I'm saying? My plan's not Pimpe's plan. And it's not that I don't bounce ideas off Pimpe and say, hey, Pimpe, what do you think about this sometimes? Or, hey, guys, what do you think about that?
All the time. Stuff up each other.
No. Bethany shouting out. Who's the next one? The 24? Teresa shouting out. Oh, my God. Weezy shouting out again. Dang, Weezy, man. He just did it again.
No.
I was saying one or different one?
Yeah, same.
Oh, sorry. And whoever with the thing. Okay, Steve. Okay. You got to think in terms of.
No, I think you hit something on the money there, Mr. B. And that is, look, if you have enough of the dinar where you can actually sit back and float some of it, you should, because it's going to go up.
Well, and think about this.
Don't hold me to it, but I'm just saying this.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who are going to be itchy to jump on that shit as soon as, yeah, itchy, I said it because I seen your name, Richie Brown line. But anyway, itching to just go ahead and deposit all at once because they're going to be scared. But I say, no, don't do that. If you have, 10, 15, 20, and sell them some of it.
I'm sorry. It was requiring for verification. Okay, can I tell you something, though, Pimpe?
Yeah, what's that?
Based upon what me and you talk about all the time, these emerging economies, and we read the list, we know. Oh my gosh, Jose. Thank you, Jose. Jose, shout out big Jose out there. Think about this. Oh, Josie. Sorry about this. We got another call. Hold on. We know how many people. I'm going to merge. Hey, Gerald. Good evening. But we know how many markets are going to be emerging. We know 49 of them are undervalued just based upon the Big Mac.
Yes.
So think about that list you have right there. We got a built-in buy list.
Okay, that's what's up. Quick question.
Shoot, brother.
Wait, first of all, like I say, This is Gerald calling from LA.
What up?
Hey, Gerald.
Hey, I like to call y'all the Mr. B, Mrs. BB, the triple B effect.
The triple B effect. I like that.
I love that.
I like that.
How's it going, Joe?
Good. I can't hear y'all that good. I know it's over speakerphone and everything like that.
Right.
So, I'll be quick.
Okay.
I would like to say, before I get into my questions, maybe like 2 questions, I would like to say thank you to TNT Tony for lying to me for so many damn years, because if it wasn't for his lies and the deceit, I probably wouldn't be so damn interested in this RI now.
Shout out the GOAT. Shout out the GOAT for real.
Number 1, do you think we're rated on electricity? Because if I can't put my ATM, if I can't put my MasterCard in the ATM and receive money at any time of the day, do you think we're waiting on the electricity to be implemented fully?
Are you talking about putting in your card here?
No.
No,
No.
he's talking
I'm
about
talking about in Iraq.
in
In Iraq.
Electricity in Iraq. It's almost like, how do you reinstate something if you don't have the electricity to support it?
Kuwait did it though.
Well, you know the
Hold on.
bank
Kuwait, hold on, guys. Kuwait did it. Kuwait was war torn. They had just got done with the killing fields. When they told everybody they were going to wait and reinstate their currency, they didn't have running water in the country. You don't need water or electricity to reinstate your currency. You know why you reinstate your currency? You guys really want to know why? This is another bomb for you guys. I wish I had more sound effects. So, Miss BB, you got to give the bomb when I say this, okay?
Pshoo.
Not yet. Hold your bombs, baby. Hold your bombs. Don't go too bombing yet. Don't bomb fast. Gerald and Pempe, the reason why you reinstate your currency is to protect yourself from predators. The reason why Kuwait's currency is so highly valued is because they're protecting themselves from people coming in there and buying up the country, divvying up those oil fields, and using for private sector. That's a bomb. BB, go.
Boom.
Yes.
Good job, girl.
Isn't it speculation?
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, and then also keep in mind, the one thing that is...
Hold on. Gerald, you go first.
I was going to say that. I'm sorry, Pepe, but that is a good factor, because if I can go to your country and buy your land for dirt cheap, why not?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that. Thank you for that clarification.
Yes.
Now, you got to understand that the Tigris River that's there in Iraq is loaded with gold. There's the civilians go out there and they pan on the side. There's no real industrial company that has been permitted yet. Trust me, if I thought I can get over there and snag that shit up for dirt cheap, I'd have been over there already.
I will say this to you both.
Yeah.
If I was an economic predator such as a George Soros or
Yes, there you go.
a Joe Biden or an ExxonMobil or an ExxonMobil, don't misunderstand it, McDonald's, don't you think I would embed myself into that country and have access to currency, unfathomable wealth? Don't you think that?
1 year 3 is already embedded in there. You
That's
just
my
know that.
point. It's unfathomable wealth that the real money makers are going to make off this, not us being the currency speculator. Don't get
A
it
lot of
twisted
people
for a
don't know,
minute.
but
The money
ISO
plays
already has
deeper than it
$1 billion
thinks.
housing contract going on over there.
Oh my God! That's one thing the Kangaroo Crew is going to do. I'm going to go over to Iraq once it reinstates. I don't care how expensive it is. I'm going to invest all my money into 2 things: medical and housing. That's it. That's it. And telecommunications. That's it. What else would I
A lot of
invest in?
people don't know this. Iraq has one of the best cancer treatment centers in the world, and they do it for free.
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 It's part, free medical and free education is part of their constitution.
Free. They treat anybody that goes there around the world. They have patients galore for free.
You guys,
Can't do nothing without the electricity right now.
they are one
No,
of
what I'm
the
saying is
richest
they're not-
nations.
They're not 100% out of. I mean, they're hurting in some places for electricity. They're not 100% out.
Yeah.
They got things going. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Think about this.
Okay.
Think about this. As long as the lights work at the central bank, we don't really care what happens in some of these neighborhoods as far as a reinstatement's concerned. I'm just saying. As long as the lights and the internet work at the central bank, I'm good.
Well, and our end and our exchanges here in the United States has nothing really to do with what their electricity is. You got to understand that our exchange is through our bank. So we're not worried about what our bank does with Iraq.
And people got to understand this too.
About our relationship with our bank.
Okay, listen. I'm the average Iraqi. It reinstates. They tell me, hey, you got all this purchasing power. Run to the bank. I run to the bank. I deposit my money. I leave with a little plastic card. I'm not going to leave with USD. There's no MCP in Iraq. You guys got to understand where you're at. There's no MCP in Iraq. You deposit your money.
Now, damn it.
And you know what? You go down there, you deposit your money, and guess what happens? They give you a little plastic card. You take that little plastic card, and you know how you do this? And you say, well, they're not going to go for that. They're going to want their money. You do it every day as Americans. As Americans, you do it every day.
Also, look at, let me just say this. If you are in Iraq and you have an American account, just transfer the money into your American account. You have the routing number. You have the accounting number. People do international swaps every damn day out of their account, right?
It's called a foreign currency account.
Just deposit. See, I'm going to do a wire transfer. I'm going to do my exchange here, but I want to transfer it into this routing number and into this account.
So,
Yeah.
I guess the next question.
One more question.
Go ahead, shoot, man. You're on the roll.
It's on my mind. I love talking to you guys, all about this and brain enlightenment. But I like, my other question is, if I can still go down to the travel currency places and still purchase a $25,000 note, how far do you think we really are to this reinstatement? Because supply and demand equals the market value.
Okay.
Again, you're talking physical money.
Hold on.
Got to remember that.
Hold on. Let me explain that to you.
98% of it.
Let me explain this to you, okay? That money was pre-purchased through a bank, okay? It's already accounted for. Whatever they sell it for is the profits thereafter. So, do you think that your private currency exchange, you're going to stop your business because of a looming possible reinstatement? Or is it business as usual because your business is selling currency?
Well, I was thinking more so that, if the CBI is not printing no more of these large category notes, how come an American citizen can still purchase, can still trade?
Because of Article 13303, I'm entitled to all the assets and the benefits thereof of sale and purchase through anything of an asset through Iraq because of our government. That's why.
So do you think the 25K notes are coming from our government and not necessarily Iraq? It's just what we have already in our government is saying, hey, come and get this?
That's a great question.
I never thought about that.
I never, you know what? That's actually,
I'm saying we should be talking all the time. Put me on the team.
But think about this. Would you put it past your government to sell an undervalued currency to people speculatively, and they know that they're going to turn that money right back in and go right back into your foreign reserve? Would you do it if you were government?
Play just posted Article 13303 guarantees the investment.
Guarantees it.
Yeah, it benefits us. It benefits us. That's the whole thing about 13303. It benefits us. A lot of people are like, oh, the government doesn't care. The government doesn't care. I believe there's, corrupt politicians. Yes. But I do believe that the government does care. And 13303 is an example. And back to my question. Where are we getting these 25 notes from if they're not being produced? And I believe it's our government. It's uncirculated.
But here's my thing. Does it matter? No, listen to this. Listen to this. For trivial purposes, it does. I would love to know if our government's passing out money they know is going to revalue because they know that they're going to make 4 times on that money because A, you're going to buy it, right? They're going to make a profit. B, you're going to get all this money, and then you go out and buy stuff in America.
Right, it stimulates our economy.
Right, it stimulates your economy, right? You're going to put into banks. You're going to put into banks, real estate, stuff that puts our assets and our holding at a great position. Now, the question would be, why wouldn't they? I would keep selling it. It doesn't matter. You'll never be richer than the government. Ask Jeff Bezos. You'll never be more powerful than the government. Ask Jeff Bezos. You'll never be... Listen... It's the funny thing about billionaires is that I've noticed is billionaires are docile. Millionaires are aggressive. Millionaires are like rabid dogs. They'll buy up stuff, tear up stuff, throw it away, go buy another Bentley. Billionaires are a little bit more reserved. Their whole thing is that getting all this money and sitting on it. They play it real safe. You know?
Now, in that one article, though, I do want to bring up this. The guy was slamming the fact that the guy from the ministry was slamming the fact that they had the auctions because he said point blank it was hurting the value of the dinar. In that article.
It's suppressing it.
We talked about that a long time ago. They need to stop that shit.
That's what I'm waiting to see, an article about the auctions.
I think it's slowed down. It used to be every day. It's not. I haven't seen no posts, to be honest.
You know what? You used to see it one every day, then it went one every couple days. They said they were going to do it twice a week.
What's wrong?
I thought it was Daisy.
Oh, that was probably me. I think Daisy's somewhere over there.
Daisy, yeah.
I Triple B, I Pepe.
Alright, sir, you have a good one.
I'm gonna get off this phone. I'm Gerald Jones. I'm Gerald on the Facebook. I'm Gerald Jones on the YouTube.
Thank you, Gerald.
Shout out Gerald Jones.
Y'all have a nice day. Thank you for everything
No.
y'all do.
Okay.
And, I just like to think of things from a different perspective. God bless.
No, you did, man. Great freaking question, man, tonight. Great. You got me off guard. Okay, so what they're doing with those buys of like those government bonds is called quantitative easing. It is a monetary policy whereby central banks buys predetermined amounts of governmental bonds or other financial aspects in order to inject liquidity directly into the economy. Unconventional from forms of monetary policy, usually used when inflation is low or negative. What they're doing is called quantitative easing. Okay? That's a term a lot of people aren't used to. Now, they have to have
It is if you like Obama.
No, it has nothing to do with Obama. I don't know what Obama has to do with
his whole
quantitative.
entire 8 years quantitative easing.
Oh, God. No, it does not. What bond did he buy to ease inflation? Because that's what quantitative easing is. What did he buy?
Okay, are you serious? Okay, let's go down this road.
Oh,
Obama
Lord,
had
here
the
we
Federal
go.
Reserve's rate down to 0%. And what they did is the Federal Reserve...
Pimpe, the
from
definition...
America.
Pimpe,
That's what quantitative easing is.
Pimpe, shush. The definition of quantitative easing is monetary policy where the bank buys predetermined amounts of government bonds. What
That's
bonds?
what I just said. They bought the American debt. That was the agreement. They lowered the interest rate down to 0, and they bought the debt of America. That's what the Federal Reserve did. Quantitative easing. Under Trump, they did quantitative tightening and then raised the rates way too damn quick. And he still had a booming economy. So, you know, that's a whole area that I know and I kick butt in. So that's different. That's probably something you want to bring up right now. Just for the record, real quick, Raymond Martin's good for me, especially when it's Louis XIII. And somebody asked, is it the event, the reinstatement event, a Treasury Department event? No, it's an International Monetary Funds thing. They're the ones that are controlling what's going on with the
Pepe!
right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Let April talk.
Okay, so we want to talk about booming economies. The best economy we ever had was under George W. Bush.
Sure was.
You could walk into a bank, not show your tax returns, and get $1 million loan.
Mm-hmm.
I was buying up houses left and right, okay? And my salary didn't equate to what I was buying. And when you watch people around the world, the United States, let me say that, they were driving equity. What I mean by that is they were pulling money out of their houses, buying cars, buying fancy things. So if you want to talk about booming economies, the booming economy was under...
Because this ain't no booming economy right now. Don't tell me that. I make more money on my own salary than most of the people that I talk to. And I'll tell you this, and I'm not bragging. This ain't no booming economy. I've averaged more money in here than most people. I'm not bragging. Unless you're an offshoreman or like someone like Seamus, I average more money. Now, the deal with the economy is this. Logistics aren't bad. What I like about Trump is about trade. I don't care about what he did for black people or what he did for white people, Hispanic. I could care less. I like what he did for trade. I'll give him that credit. But he still ain't solved the China trade deal. The China trade deal is helping my Vietnam deal, which is helping my Singapore deal, which is helping my Malaysia deal. So if you're looking for more buys, I just gave you 3, okay?
Malaysia.
Vietnamese. Right. So before you crown him the crown prince of everything, let's see something come to fruition before it happens.
Oh, please allow me to...
No, Pimpe.
Let
When I see Pimpe, I don't want to hear it. When I see things happen, I'll go with it.
When we run into the bank.
When I go to the bank, hey, because I heard all this about the Iraqi dinar. I heard all this about Trump's going to do this, Trump going to do that. Trump ain't did shit. Now, Pimpe, I'll hang up on you because I'm not going to argue. When I see the Iraqi dinar go, I'll vote for Trump. Now, because when you tell me about Treasury, all they're going is to Vietnam. Where else they go?
Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, all those countries over there that touch the South China Sea.
Now, that's where I'm going to touch.
If you go and you look over there for the new trade agreements between them all, there's 3,000 businesses that left China that moved to these countries. 3,000 businesses that moved from China into those countries. In other words, we don't need China for those types of businesses anymore. That's a huge... For the first time in 17 years, the China GDP dropped. Right? It's dropped. It's poor. It's terrible.
Hold on a second.
Pimpe, hold on.
Wasabi, I agree with you. That was a false economy, but it also was booming. And by the time W left
office, is it false if you're living it?
But hold on.
I was a part of the economy. I think it's false. I bought more houses and more cars. I drove more BMWs, more Mercedes.
Hold on. By the time W left office, he left a mess. I will agree. That's when you saw the real estate market crash. Why? Because people bought things they could not afford. That's
on the consumer, not on the economy. Sorry.
But people will do what they are allowed to do.
Right, you're only going to buy what you can allow to buy. I mean, come on.
If you're giving me $1 million loan
and I
make $50,000 a year,
you're going to spend it.
But my thing is, how is it ever getting paid back? It's not.
It's not, but that's not the consumer's responsibility. That's based upon fiscal policy. That's set by the government. If they loan you money and you take it, that's not a bad thing.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, because Leroy Jones on the phone said all this booming economy stuff. And booming economy. Hey there.
We live.
We all the way live.
All the way from Madison, Alabama.
Okay, now.
There we go. Emma's in the house. Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. Now, I was looking at this thing. If Hillary would have been elected president, this thing would have been over because this thing was set up for her to win. And
her greed, her sheer greed would have made me a billionaire.
Right.
It would have.
It was set up for Hillary to win.
Y'all gonna strike a fire under Pimpe.
Well, let him burn.
It was set up for Hillary to win, and this thing could be reinstated just like Bill paid off the deficit and everything.
Yeah.
So it was set up for Hillary to win, and it made her look good just like Bill.
Pimpe, let him speak. Let him speak.
Yeah. It was set up to make her look good just like Bill paid down and got a surplus and everything. Now, if you notice, if you go back and look at the videos that Hillary had put out, she talked about Iraq,
Yep. Afghanistan. She talked about Iran.
And it was going to be more than China and all this right here. So it actually was set up for Hillary. And
shout out, Weezy.
Would have won. I believe this thing would have been over by now.
Oh, hell no. That one would have had us already in World War III. We probably would have been nuked by now. Our economy would have crashed.
Pimpe, I'm going to hang up on you. Pimpe, I'm going to hang up on you, Pimpe. Pimpe, bye.
Bye, Felicia.
I really don't think so because we done good about the deal also.
We sure did.
No, never. People think that's a misconception. Oh, Bill Clinton did this. No, we had a national deficit in there.
We got national deficit now bigger than ever.
You know what's a misconception?
When did Bill Clinton ever pay off the national deficit?
You're not gonna have Social Security, okay? That's
okay. No. Hold on. I'll give you guys one. This is a bomb. Let me tell y'all this. This is the secret to the whole economy. Okay. Don't trust your government. Trust yourself.
I agree.
I'll leave it with that. Don't trust the government.
Absolutely.
Don't trust the guy. I don't care if they're Republican. Pimpé, hold on, guys. Republican, Democrat, Independent.
Let me
they're
tell
all
you,
thieves.
They're
thieves.
They get paid off the rip,
top.
off the top. You're gonna tell me we're not gonna have Social Security, and you done took all my money out of all my checks all these years? I can manage my money, and I can prove I can manage my own money. Give me my Social Security, and I'll manage it better than the government.
Give her my sovereign right under my birth certificate, and give me its worth.
For robbing Social Security, you're supposed to be.
They all rob.
They all rob. Pimpé ain't one. It's all.
Do
Pimpé. Let me tell you this. Pimpé, hold on. I'm gonna hang up on Pimpé now. Pimpé's gross misconception about the government is that the government somehow is for you. The government's not for you guys. Let me tell you this right now. The government's for the government. It's a business. Don't get it misconstrued. I love Pimpé to death, but I'm not going to sit here and listen to his preaching tonight.
There's no good and bad. It's all about self, right? And at the end of the day, the people get robbed. Now, I've tracked my Social Security. I would have flipped my money so many times had I managed it myself.
I'd have made more money off shorting real estate a few years ago than I ever made off the real estate we own.
But they will never allow us to manage our own funds.
Listen, do you think in Iraq right now you can go in there as a large institution like Coke or Pepsi? They're already embedded in there. They've been embedded there. Toyota. This is a money play that got played out for the big dogs years ago. This ain't for you and me. Understand where you are.
I know, and they're taking our money and
you
using it for what they want.
You think a president, whether it be Obama, Trump, Clinton, is going to save you? You need to save yourselves. Learn to think for yourselves.
I was watching another financial person. They said if you plan on retiring in 2035, good luck, because there will be zero Social Security.
I have no faith in the government as the way it sits right now under any administration, from Lincoln abolishing slavery all the way through Trump, to help me do a damn thing. And you want my honest opinion? I depend on me. You give me my money, I will manage me.
I agree.
And I will be fine. I don't need the government to tell me my sexuality, my race, my religion, or anything. That's all they do. You guys don't understand. The only thing government does is divide you as people. It makes you think in two aspects, Republican or Democrat. You quit thinking of yourselves as humans. I think of you as humans. I think beyond your race, beyond your sexuality, beyond your context, beyond your whatever hangups you got, you're a human. And you got human needs, and you got human desires, and you want to aspire to do better. I believe in that. I don't want to be president. I'll be president of a company that buys presidents. And you know what? It's 10-1. The government is broke and corrupt. F the government. For real.
They're going to shut us down.
They're going to shut me. YouTube already going to shut me down. Thanks for the announcement, YouTube. I'm going to do it every time, you freaking weirdos. Don't ever rely on Daisy girl. Daisy don't rely on no government. We're gang.
She ready to go.
I didn't mean to hang up on Pimpé. I forgive you.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, I did, because I didn't want to hear that crap.
You hung up on the caller too.
I know, but you'll forgive me. I hung up on Pimpé.
Somebody else, I think. Wasn't it? I don't know.
Our tax dollars should be used for government services, schools, but they're not. Government services are not used for that. A trickle-down effect. Reaganomics, it happened since the 80s. It's bullshit.
The taxes, I'm sorry, our taxes here in Houston pays for the schools.
A portion of it.
A portion.
What I want to do is start a foundation that a portion of our foundation, we give it to a school, goes straight to the school district. The teachers. I want to make more teachers more money. I want to employ more police officers. I want to employ more veterans. I want to employ more fire. I want to employ more safety, EMS. I want those people to get that money, because you know what? They're the ones putting their freaking neck on the line to get it.
Right.
Not me. I enjoyed the privilege thereof. Thank you. You guys have a good night, man. Zombie apocalypse. Yeah, I meant to hang up on Pimpé. I'm sorry.